As you by now know, my hair is curly, and as I tell everyone, my curls literally have a mind of their own. I cannot tame them. I cannot control them. They are what they are, kind of like me, so no wonder we're one and the same. But when I found Sarah of MoonStone Seven, I thought this was a genius product. She and her biracial girls were born, when her biracial girls were born, she was determined not to be the white mom who didn't know how to work with ethnic hair. She wanted her girls to feel just as beautiful as they were. And having curly hair herself, she knew what it felt like to stand out and be different and not appreciate what you have. So Sarah, I am with you. You and I have kind of talked about this. We both were adults before we embraced our curly hair. I would straighten my hair. I had the huge hot rollers in my hair that I would sleep with overnight. You used to put your head on an ironing board and iron it, which is what my mom used to do. So talk to me about curly hair and how it's different and how we really need products for ourselves. There aren't any out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So when the girls were younger, I knew that I had to do something in order to make them feel beautiful. And what that was going to look like for them was a lot different than it looked like for me.
Yeah.
My hair is wavy, their hair is curly, and each of them have different hair from each other, even though they're sisters. A lot of times people will say, oh, my kid's hair is just like yours. And I'm like, well, like it might seem that way from the photos, but let's, dig deeper and talk about it. So it's definitely a learning process when you have different curls and different patterns and different textures and density and there's all these scary words I think that people get intimidated by.
Yeah.
But they all matter because when you're looking at all of these different products that are available now that weren't available when we were kids.
I mean, even 5-10 years ago.
Oh, horrible.
Yes.
Horrible. I just started my curly journey 2 years ago.
Okay.
When my girls would continually say, can you straighten my hair, Mom? And I'm like, no. Why do you want to? It's so beautiful.
Don't damage it mine. I know.
But then I realized I was doing it, and they just wanted to be like Mom. So when I stopped, it was no longer a thing.
Yeah.
And so that got me thinking, how can I not only embrace myself more, but have it not be a thing anymore? We all have our curly hair. It's all different, but it's all beautiful. And there are tools and techniques that we can use and we can share in order to help people. So I definitely think all curls do have a mind of their own.
They do. And you know what? When we were talking, you asked me all of those questions you were just talking about. And I remember texting you back being question marks. I think that's all I wrote back were question marks. I have no idea what you're talking about. What do you mean is it dense? Does it absorb water? I mean, I get wet. I was so confused. I had never thought about those questions for my hair. But it is important because it's how my hair reacts to all those different things.
Yes.
So kind of dive into that a little bit.
So if you want certain results, right, you have to know what your hair likes and doesn't like. There are mousses, there are gels, there are foams, there are creams. And somebody with thinner hair wouldn't really want to use a cream because it's going to weigh those curls down.
Okay.
And then they're going to wonder, why don't I have these voluminous curls that I know are in there? So it's really starting to get to know what your hair likes. So I encourage people, we actually have another page called Naturally Curly Kids where we show all these tips and techniques and we start from scratch. It's don't care about your porosity. Don't care about all these things. Let's strip it down to the basics. What are you using? Is the products you're using, are they even good ingredients for curls? Do you think that they're good, but they're not really? So really looking at that to start, but those basic things, because people will say just what you said. Density, thick.
I had no idea.
I don't know. What are you talking about? And I'm like, okay, let's strip it down even more. And it's so interesting how many moms or dads are apologetic and they're like, I have straight hair. I'm so sorry. This might sound stupid. And I'm like, no, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So let's talk about it. So we really try and help as many people as we can understand their needs and their hair. So there's so many different combinations, right? If you have thick hair, but it's not dense, meaning you don't have a lot of hairs coming out of your head, but you have thick strands. So it's, you know, you can compare a strand to thread. And is it thicker than that? Is it smaller than that? What does it look like? And that's how you determine that.
So funny enough, random in high school, we had to look at our hair under a microscope. And my hair was twice the size and thickness as the next person. And it's been stuck in my head because everyone's like, oh, you have so much hair. I'm like, people say it's thick, but it really is thick. So I have a lot of hair, and I have thick hair, and I have very tight, kinky curls.
Yes.
Everyone thinks that I am a mixed race. I am not. I tell people I have Jew curls because I'm Jewish. It's the Middle Eastern Jew curls, not Jerry curls is what I say. But it is different, and people don't realize that curls are different. My sister and I have different curly hair, too. She has long, wavy curls, very much like what you have, and I have my mom's hair, very short, tight, kinky curls. Even the curls around my face are different than the curls underneath my head.
Totally typical to have more than one curl pattern.
It's crazy. And again, why do the curls have their own mind, right?
Exactly. It's like, hey, you have really pretty hair. You should do that again. It's like, oh, it's how my curls
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah. Like, this will never look like this again.
Yeah. So why do you think it took you to adulthood, to appreciate your curls and never really bring them out? Did you ever wear your hair curly as a kid? I never, ever did.
I would say once I was able to do my own hair.
Okay.
So we'll say like middle school when my mom stopped French braiding it or, doing what she did. Middle school to high school, it was flat iron. I literally have a scar on my arm from the iron. And I could not get my hair stick straight enough.
Same.
And I really don't know why that was, but I would wear my hair wavy on occasion. But what are the only products they had? You had mousse, right?
Oh,
so it was
hate
like
mousse.
Mousse. And
Yes.
I'm like, okay, let's try it. So I get out of the shower and it's like you could see the texture in my hair. You could see that it was wavy. And then I just throw mousse in it.
Yep.
No technique on how to do it, nothing. And I would just let it drip dry.
Yes.
And it would be crunchy and like you'd try and shake your hair and it would just be like...
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was like loud.
I know exactly what you're talking about. When I finally went natural, I was 25 or 24, and I was on a beach trip with my best friend, and she was like, I am not going to sit here and wait for you to straighten your hair at the beach. I mean, I literally...
Just to let it go get a little bit poofy and have to come do it again in a couple hours.
And I wouldn't go swimming in high school because I didn't want my hair to get wet and everyone see my curls. I didn't do sports because if I got sweaty, it'd kink up and everyone would look at me. Like, I missed out on a lot because of my hair.
Yeah.
And then when I went natural, I tell everyone I started getting hit on by the guys a lot more because they'd never seen it.
Yeah.
And then I never went back. Now it's like a special occasion, like you were saying, that I actually straighten my hair.
And honestly, for the special occasions, I used to do that, but now I sit and I'm like, no, the waves are me. I haven't straightened my hair. I think I've straightened it once in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And that was just because I went and got a blowout because I needed to treat myself to some pampering. It's like, just take care of me right now.
It's so much work, too.
Yeah. And so, I mean, don't get me wrong, curls are work as well. But once you have a routine, then it's a lot easier. Once you figure out if your hair likes gels or creams or mousse or, a foam, whatever that is. And that's where the plop comes into play for the time and for the sake of your routine.
Let's start talking about the plop, but first, let's talk about where the name came from, MoonStone Seven. Tell me about that.
All right. So because we were just talking about, self-love, right? I want to teach my girls self-love. And to not ever feel like they don't belong or that they're different or their curls make them miss sports or miss swimming or doing these things. The self-love aspect of it is really important to me. When we first kind of started helping other people, we thought about, that one little girl that walks into school with her hair so crazy that she's embarrassed, but her mom doesn't know how to do it. That's the girl we want to help. And we've ended up doing that. So the self-love is a very important piece to me, and Moonstone is the destiny maker. So we say, let us help you create your destiny one curl at a time.
Aww.
So it's, a process, right? Every day we are just talking about your curls don't look the same. It's a process, and you evolve and you grow. And it's kind of a reflection of the inside out. When you start to feel good about yourself and you start loving yourself for who you are, that can show more through your personality when you're confident in whether it's your body size, your hair color, your hair texture, your smile, anything that you might have been insecure about before, that you can each day start to love yourself a little bit more.
Totally.
So Moonstone is the destiny maker. So that's where the name came up. And 7 is just like the greatest number of all.
It is. It's my favorite number too. I know. I love it. Well, you started this journey a couple years ago. You still have a full-time job?
Yes.
I cannot believe this because this company is taking off. You're all over the place. It started with a T-shirt. on your head.
Yes.
I mean, talk to me how you came up with this. This is just mind-blowing to me.
So the t-shirt on your head is definitely something that's in the curly girl world. It's you put all your products in and then you tie this t-shirt around your head. And when I started this, I was like, wow, this technique's really working for me. But this apparatus, that I'm balancing on my head is not.
And what does the t-shirt do?
It absorbs the moisture, and then it also prevents static, so your hair is not getting frizzy while it's drying. So if you air dry it down, it's dripping, it's not allowing the volume at your roots to go up. It's kind of weighing it down, especially if you have long hair. It's just allowing it to dry in kind of like a tight knit spot for when you're ready to then either finish air drying or actually diffuse it and finish it out. So for me right now, having a newborn at home, it's fantastic because I can literally jump in the shower, throw my products in, and then tie my hair up, and I can leave it in for 20 minutes, I can leave it in for 4 hours, I can leave it in overnight. So whenever she allows me to then get back to, myself. But so the term plopping has been around forever. People plop their hair inside this t-shirt. So you take a long sleeve t-shirt, short sleeve t-shirt, whatever it is, and there's a way that you can tie it around your hair to make it stay. And when I started this journey, I was like, okay, this technique works really well, but doing this with this t-shirt, not my jam. Like, I am not taking this long sleeve shirt that has, the sleeve wrists and it's cumbersome and uncomfortable, and there's no way I would sleep in it. I didn't, trying to balance it on my head. It's just not the way to be. And so I have a design and marketing background, so I was like, I need to do something different. So I was actually creating something just for us at home to be able to do this. And I was like, wow, this is really convenient. The more I started with patterns, and then my sister's actually a seamstress, so she helped me, with the pattern. And, we'd go back and forth like, this isn't working, this is working, this is great, this isn't great.
It's a family business. I love that.
And so for 2 years, literally August of 2019 is when I started this. I was ideating and trying different fabrics and what's going to work, what's going to be comfortable, what's going to do what needs to be done from this process that's been around for so long, but give it a new kind of spin on it. Something that's not out there. I researched a ton and I'm like, this has to exist. Let me buy one. And when I couldn't find it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this. This needs to be a thing.
I mean, is the material like those water absorbent cloths kind of?
No, I don't like microfiber actually.
Okay,
the texture weirds me out. So I know.
That's
it's
so
just
weird.
I don't like it.
That is a weird thing.
And microfiber actually absorbs product and moisture really, really quickly. And the Plop is made from a cotton lycra. So the lycra gives it a stretch. So it's really that gives that comfortable one-size-fits-all sort of feeling. And then the cotton acts as that t-shirt where it's been, kind of tested by many, many curly haired people. And it can absorb that moisture really well through the cotton. So it's like the comfort of the lycra and the efficiency of the cotton.
All right. Let's take a short break. When we come back, she is going to describe how to plop with us and the perfect kind of hair to do it. Stay tuned. All right, so we're talking about plopping, and for the curly haired cuties out there, I like to say, so it's a lycra. Lycra. Thank you, L-Y. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let me try that again. See, I told you, I'm the one that needs all the editing. We're sitting here talking plopping with Sarah from MoonStone Seven. All right, you've created this product that I love that you went and researched. You're like, obviously, this is out there. It's not. You have solely created $1 million idea. I know this is where it's headed because your Instagram and social media is blowing up right now. You launched in 2019. You started in 2019.
In the background, yeah.
Yeah, and when did you launch the first product?
April 17th of 2021. So we've only been open for 6 months.
Are you serious? Mm-hmm. I'm mind blown. I thought you were going to say 2020. No. You're really taking off.
Yeah.
Have you put in your 2 weeks notice yet? We're not going to tell the boss we're talking right now. It's going to happen. You're blowing up fast.
I mean, I do love what I do.
Yeah.
I love my other job too.
Yeah.
And this is a passion project. This is fun for me.
Yeah.
And I want it to always continue to stay fun, and not turn it into something that just becomes about the money or about, it's always core been helping people. And
it's finding the inner beauty, which is, like you said, this is what we're trying to make everyone love themselves, And you really do that on your social media posts, on the videos that you post, on the ones that are sharing plopping. Now people are plopping and sharing the, videos in them and their smiles when they do it with you. So my sister actually, got her to do a plop because she has long, beautiful curls like you, and she freaking loves it. Says she washes her hair half the amount of time now because it lasts longer, has taken all the frizz out of it from the air dry. And she's like, she calls me, she's like, dude, it's so easy, Alicia. So tell me how to plop. Because your little girls can do it.
They can.
We can do it too.
Yes. So once you wash and condition your hair, you're going to get out and you're going to put your stylers in. So whether that's a leave-in conditioner or it could be nothing, actually. If you want to use no product, that's fine too. Mm-hmm. Most people tend to use product just to get that little bit more of a hold.
Yes.
And a leave-in conditioner, I don't actually consider a styler. It's just a necessity to keep the moisture in your hair.
Okay.
But then you can put your gel on top or your cream, whatever it is that you like to style your hair with. And then you literally lay out the plop on the I like to lay it on my bed. The girls do it on the floor just because it's easier for them. They're not so tall.
Yeah, so I wish I could get on the floor like they could.
So they use the floor, I use the bed. But you flip your hair over and then you kind of just guide it down and you snap it in the back and then you flip it around to the front and you can either tie it in the front or tie it in the back. So it acts as this t-shirt, right? So I call the long pieces of it the arms.
Okay.
Because that's essentially what, you'd be using on the t-shirt.
Yeah.
You take the arms and you bring them around the back and then to the front. And it's really convenient because the thing that the t-shirt's missing is the stretch, for one, the comfort. And then it's also missing, there's too much fabric. There's so much going on.
Because it's like double layer. You're using...
Well, so is our plop. So it is doubled.
Okay.
So it does pull the moisture out and bring it to the outside. So it's really absorbing. But the problem is there, if you have a sleeve, it's not nicely
smooth.
Stitched.
Yeah.
It's not smooth. Yeah. And there's too much of that sleeve. So you have, 3 inches on the sleeve opposed to the plop that has like 1.5 inches. That it's just an easier tie.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like so much, and it's not so heavy on your head then because you don't have all that extra fabric. So you literally just throw your head over, watch your hair go down, snap, flip. Hold on, what is my...
You're fine. Think about it.
Edit this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Snap, fold, twist, tie. That's what we say. So you snap it in the back, you fold it over, you twist it, and then you tie it, and you're good to go. So when I say good to go, we have some people that wear these on road trips while they're getting from point A to point B. We have some people that wear it to the grocery store or out to dinner, and like not dinner, but like, hey, let's grab a burger. Not like a fancy dinner. Getting the mail, getting the kids quick, just in the middle of your routine of daily life where you're not like, oh, guess this wash day just got ruined because now I have to go, pick up my kids. You plop it. And you take care of it when you can.
It really is that easy.
So,
I know it sounds cliche to say, but like it really is that easy.
Well, that's why I thought it already existed. I'm like, this has to be a thing.
You're right. You're so right. So there is I have shorter hair. So we were talking about it. It's probably not the best for shorter hair. Tell me a little bit about the length does matter because you've got to hold it up and stuff.
Yeah. So on our website, we have some really good FAQs, and one of them is, can I plop on shorter hair?
Yeah.
And we don't suggest doing it on shorter than your shoulder length, just because your hair can tend to kind of get smushed or squashed out of place. The length of your hair does help, weigh it down a little bit. So when you plop it shorter, it tends to just be a little bit more wonky.
Yeah.
You could do it for a shorter amount of time. Like I was saying before, everyone's hair is different. But as somebody that actually cares about people and getting real results and being satisfied, I don't want to misguide anyone. So once they get their hair a little bit longer, then I say, hey, give plopping a try. But when it's shorter, it's kind of it could work based on, all those different variables.
Right.
But I don't want to suggest it because, truth be told, it's probably going to get wonky or smashed or smushed out of place or out of shape.
Do your girls appreciate their curls now? Do they embrace them?
Oh yeah, they haven't asked me to straighten their hair. I mean, in a really, I can't even remember the last time, to be honest, because what I realize is kids don't do what you say, they do what you do. So they're watching and they're constantly watching. So when they see mom embracing her hair, and it just gives them that little bit more to be like, oh yeah, my curls are beautiful. I'm unique. I'm, pretty.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I think the hardest feat is for when a mother comes to me that has straight hair and it's stick straight and has a child that has
Makes
curly
sense.
hair. She's like, how do I do this? They want hair like mine. I had the easy answer. I was just going to embrace my natural hair, and they were going to follow. But a lot of the moms show the video of my kids to them, and then they're like, I want to be like them. A lot of like 5 and 6 year olds. So it's super cute. So the girls often will send them like personal messages just saying like, hey, your hair is beautiful. Like, you're beautiful. And
look at the difference you are making right now.
And I just do hair. And it's like, it's so humbling, because at first it was like, we're just doing this. Like, it's doing, and then it'd be like more and more and more people. And I'm like, girls, like, we look at followers. So on the Naturally Curly Kids page, we have a lot more followers than Moonstone, just because we've been doing it longer.
Yeah.
But it's also really important to me that the girls keep a healthy perspective on social media. I don't want them to think, oh, we have so many followers, we have so many likes. Like, that is not it. Like, I'm not about that. Like, great, we have likes and comments and shares and stuff. That's all helpful, but because we're helping people. There always has to be that why. So when I say, okay, we have 52,000 followers, I don't say followers, I say we are helping 52,000 people.
See? It's all about the wording, though, because you are helping 52,000 people.
They all actively
52,000 people in a year? Are we going to say like 1 year? When did you start the Instagram?
About 2 years ago.
That's a lot of people.
Well, I think what gravitates people towards the page is that it's real.
Yeah.
We show things like how to get tangles out. My middle daughter now, she got slime in her hair, and I showed how to get that out. But it's, it's relating on that real life, not just the superficial, like, look at me, I have pretty hair, but like, how can you take what we're doing and bring it into your house? So a lot of our stories are step by step on, this is the product we're using, this is how we do it. We've done some Instagram TVs or the lives that say, okay, get your hair in this state, and then once it's here, we're going to go live, and then you guys can do it with us.
Yeah.
So really trying to help change people's lives. I know that sounds like cliche.
It does, but I mean, as a teenager and a young kid who stood out, whose curls weren't known or expected, and my mom cut all her hair off in the sense like it's extreme, like above, behind her ears, short and net. So I didn't want her boy haircut kind of thing, and she didn't know how to deal with my hair. Yeah. She grew up in the 70s with long straight hair. She did the same thing on an ironing board. So she didn't even know how to help me, and she had curly hair. And the arguments we got into, and it really like depleted any self-esteem that you kind of have during those awful teenage years. I had none because my hair. No one wanted to talk, all the boys were like, what's wrong with your hair? It's like poofy today.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know what to do. I live in the South. Like,
and when my mom tries to brush my curls out before school,
and
then it's like, that doesn't feel right.
Everyone who has curly hair, please don't ever brush your curls.
Not when it's dry. Don't brush dry curls.
Never, 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 never. I know. So my daughter has curly hair. My son has board straight hair. And but her hair is different than mine. Yes. Hers is thinner. It's much softer than mine. And so I had to call my sister. I'm like, what do I do? Like, I don't know how to deal with this. So she gave me a cream that used for her hair. It's not long enough to plop yet, but we're growing it out. But even that, like you said, your daughters have different kinds of curls. Me and my daughter have different kinds of curls.
Absolutely.
They're all different. And that just goes to show we are all different, though. Mm-hmm. But if we know how to take care of ourselves and support each other, we can all self-care together.
Absolutely. And self-care is the best form of self-love.
Yes.
It's not selfish to do a hair mask or do a face mask or take time and read a book when you have the dishes to do. Mm-hmm. Or there's so many things that we could be doing. But self-love is so important, and that's what I'm trying to establish my girls' foundation is in self-love. Because if you love yourself, nothing else really matters.
Yeah, I love that. You're right. Well, what's next? I mean, you're literally blowing up right now. I'm glad that we had the time to talk because you're about to be big. I know that it's taking off. You can see it growing right now. What's next for you?
I have quite a few different product ideas in my head.
Ooh.
Yes. Most definitely. there's something for sleeping. You know,
Okay.
a lot of people want to sleep in the plop when their hair is dry, but we don't suggest that either. It's basically the same as sleeping on a cotton pillowcase. So if you're cool with sleeping on a cotton pillowcase, go for
Yeah.
it. But we don't suggest it because you really should be sleeping on like a satin or silk just so you prevent breakage. So
Okay, I didn't know that, so that's good
yeah.
to know.
So working on something along those lines, because the plop is so easy to use, the main thing people see with silk bonnets is that they fall off in the middle of the night.
Yep.
You know, they're slippery and it's like, why can't I leave this on? Or a pillowcase, you know, slippery or whatever it might be. So I'm trying to come up with something new that hasn't been done before.
Of course it hasn't.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, that's important to me too, not to just be like a site that regurgitates
No,
things
of
that
course not.
everybody else has. I
You're
really
new and
want it to
fresh.
be. I want it to be the place like we can only get that. We have to go there.
I see it in your face. You're excited, and you know
Yes,
it's ready.
yes. And then I want to do some consumables too.
Okay.
So I have some ideas as far as refreshes go. Refreshes is a big one because curly haired folks just wash their hair maybe once a week,
Yep.
once or twice. But then what do we do with all those days in between?
Yep.
So how some products that I may or may not be developing
Little
can work
sneak peek.
with the plop and on their own as well.
Well, before we leave, where can we find you? Where can we get our plop from you?
Yes, you can go to www.moonstone7.com.
Okay.
We have 3 colors currently.
Yeah, I love them too.
Yes, there might be another one coming.
I love it.
That's the first anyone has heard.
I love it. You're so secretive. You know, guys, not only is she an amazing mom, an amazing soul, and just here to help, she is local. We always love supporting our local, you know, businesses and stuff. And you really are onto something. And I know you know that for the right reasons, and you're still staying humble and just keeping grounded. And that's why you're going to be successful in what you do.
Thank you very much.
Before we leave, my favorite question I ask every guest: what is your favorite Scottsdale vibe? What about Scottsdale do you love so much? Why did you guys move here?
We moved here for the weather.
It's true, though.
I
It is
mean, really.
great hair weather for us, by the way.
It is. And honestly, we also moved because, let me get emotional for a second.
That's okay.
We couldn't stay in Milwaukee anymore. So
Yeah.
we're from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and it is one of the most segregated cities in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as my kids being biracial, that doesn't work for us.
You and your husband have been together since high school?
High school sweethearts,
That's
yeah.
so sweet.
Yeah, so going on, well, married for 12, so I
We're
think
gonna
we're
admit it.
going on 20.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're
years.
aging us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm proud of it, too.
I mean, my
38
oldest
proud.
keeps telling me, you know, aren't you 21? I'm like, honey, you're 11. No.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mommy is not
I know
21.
you can do basic math, right?
Right. I'm like, no, I know you're trying to give me a compliment,
Yeah.
but no longer a compliment.
Yeah. That's so true. Do not tell anyone that I'm 21.
Yeah, so definitely for the weather and for a different atmosphere. I mean, we couldn't be in a city that was segregated between different races. It just wasn't our vibe, and
Do you
it shouldn't
feel
be
loved here?
anyone's. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You feel accepted?
Yeah.
Good. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Go check Sarah and her amazing product line out, MoonstoneSeven.com. You will not regret it. Sarah, thank you so much, and I can't wait to plop with you later.
Thanks for having me.